The EFF, when it takes over next year, is going to arm Hamas and make sure Hamas has got the necessary equipment to fight for their freedom.
With regard to the present situation, Israel must, in accordance with its obligations under the Genocide Convention, in relation to Palestinians in Gaza, take all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all acts within the scope of Article 2 of the Convention, in particular,
Hello everyone, welcome to another round of Eagle 7 Focus Channel, your one-stop messianic channel. The Eagle 7 Focus Channel is operating from the Eagle's Eyes perspective, Isaiah 40:31. We brings to you life interviews, news and current affairs. Do you like Eagle 7 Focus? We think it is great and a lot of people are feeling the same way. But it takes a lot of work keeping the stream running and the funds are limited. Please support us by clicking the like button and follow us. Eagle 7 focus on world news events surrounding modern-day Israel and the Jewish people, what the Torah holds for us, what is happening to the Gentiles.
It was during the Court of ICJ case by South Africa versus Israel on genocide. Case filed by South Africa is absurd blood libel, contrary to reason of atrocities committed by Hamas animals. Obviously and flatly opposed to manifest truth. The case is inconsistent with common sense. Logically, it was during the Court of ICJ case by South Africa versus Israel on genocide. Case filed by South Africa is absurd blood libel, contrary to reason of atrocities committed by Hamas animals. Obviously and flatly opposed to manifest truth. The case is inconsistent with common sense. Logically, contradictory, nonsensical and ridiculous. South Africa imposed their own sentiments based on South Africa's own apartheid history. South Africa relations refer to the current and historic relationship between the Republic of South Africa and the State of Israel. During the 1950s and 1960s, Israel became an open critic of the apartheid regime in South Africa, hoping to establish good relations with black-majority countries in Africa. President Ramaphosa has pledged the ANC's solidarity with the Palestinians, saying their history had echoes of apartheid and South Africa's struggle against white minority rule. The decision made by International Court of Justice was not in favor of South Africa nor Israel. Listen to what Madam President of the jury's words.
The State of Israel shall, in accordance with its obligations under the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, in relation to the Palestinians in Gaza, take all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all acts within the scope of Article 2 of the Convention.
The ruling was neither in favor of South Africa nor Israel. This shows that the jury was careful in their decision. Madam President said, Israel has to be careful not to commit genocide. Julius Malema is the masterminder of this case. Today, after the decision of ICJ, Julius Malema is walking as a hero in Africa. It was a striking yet somehow vaguely familiar scene. Julius Malema, the self-styled commander-in-chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, a radical offshoot of the ruling African National Congress, addressed a crowd of 90,000 cheering red shirts at a party rally at a stadium in Johannesburg. On Saturday, July 29, 2023, the event was being held to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the founding of the EFF in 2013. In his speech, Malema railed against Western imperialism and denounced South African President Cyril Ramaphosa as a coward for failing to guarantee safe passage to Russian President Vladimir Putin should he attend the upcoming BRICS summit. "We are Putin and Putin is us," Malema told the gathering. "And we will never support imperialism against President Putin." He also once again called for the land to be taken from the white minority and returned to the hands of the rightful owners. At the end of his speech, Malema was raised up into the air on a red platform, his arms stretched out towards the crowd. October 23, 2023, EFF leader Julius Malema has vowed to fund Hamas if his party wins the 2024 elections. Julius Malema's controversial support for Hamas draws criticism and sparks debate amid escalating conflict in Gaza. The EFF Economic Freedom Fighters, when it takes over next year, is going to arm Hamas and make sure Hamas has the necessary equipment to fight for its freedom, said EFF leader Julius Malema to thousands of supporters picketing outside the Israeli embassy in Schwein on October 23, 2023. In the crowd, people held up signs with the Hamas logo. One flag included the words, "We are all Qassam Hamas military wing. We are all jihad." His statements came as the full extent of the atrocities committed by Hamas on 7 October are being revealed, including torture while the victims were still alive. This includes cutting off fingers, toes, breasts and feet, gouging out eyes, castration, and then putting the organ in the victim's mouth.
And we came here to come and share with you our story in South Africa and our struggles and sufferings which we're going through in the country on a daily basis. And this platform is a very correct platform because we come from a country where students are in the forefront of the struggle. We come from a country where students are leading the struggle against colonialism. We come from a country where students are fighting against white supremacy and a capitalist system that has divided our country and excluded the indigenous people of South Africa and Africa as a whole.
The EFF, when it takes over next year, is going to arm Hamas and make sure Hamas has got the necessary equipment to fight for their freedom. Netanyahu is a #1 terrorist, and he must be declared everywhere he goes. He must never know peace because he's a #1 world terrorist, and the world must fight against terrorists. A murderer, a person who's committing genocide in Palestine in the name of attacking Hamas, yet is attacking innocent women and children.
After all that, his International Court of Justice entertained South Africa's case on genocide. November 21, 2023, South Africa's parliament passes a resolution that urges the government to shutter the embassy of Israel, which the resolution calls an apartheid state. South Africa filed the lawsuit against Israel to the ICJ on Dec. 29, 2023, accusing Israel of violating the UN Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide related to Palestinians in Gaza. The court stopped short of ordering an Israeli ceasefire and instead directed Israel to take every measure possible to avoid genocide while also ensuring humanitarian aid. Even if the ICJ had ordered a ceasefire, it seems unlikely Israel would have abided by the ruling. This is all Julius Malema's doing. South Africa's government only acted to Julius Malema's absurd blood libel case against Israel.